Ed Butowsky is the founder of Chapwood Investments and joining me back in studio. You get a smile for some of these monologues, don't you?
I love them. I think this is the best monologue, best stuff I hear.
Thank you. I was trying to make the case that when progressives and big government supporters think that the government exists to create choices for us, that in essence, they create superficial choices and then crowd out the free market. Because how do you compete against government? You can't. It has unlimited resources and the power to tax the people.
That's right.
But when we hear people say, well, if you're going to opt out of Social Security, well, not taking your Social Security benefit is not opting out. Not paying in and then not taking it is opting out.
That's absolutely right. You know, one of the things that I think about often is in Europe, what was the last thing invented out of Europe? I cannot come up with anything
IKEA?
That has been invented in the last 50, 60, 70 years out of Europe, which is a good example of why we need competition. You know, competition brings down the prices and usually increases the quality of things. That's what this country was built around. Everything we see, everything that we do is, you know, that we use came as a result of competition and making things better. And when you take that out, watch out, because then things are going to change quickly.
One of the things I don't understand is that you hear progressives constantly talk about, well, we saved GM to create choice and competition, and we're going to pass these high MPG standards so people will drive better cars, but they're not giving you a choice in the end. Once they start to tell the car companies what kind of cars they can and cannot produce, whether or not it's the car that you want, is irrelevant. The fact you might not be happy with it, the fact it's not the car that you want to buy, the fact that the fruits of your labor are not going to where you want them to go seems to mean nothing to them. But if you were to encroach on the things that progressives want to buy or the things they want for themselves, they would lose their minds.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. When did we come up with the idea that being in debt $25 billion meant that you somehow were saved? I mean, think about this. General Motors owes you, me, and everyone watching $25 billion. So when Obama gets out there and says, look what we did, the factory lines are moving, all right, in that ad by Morgan Freeman, that's just a bunch of, quote, malarkey, all right?
Yeah, you can make all the cars you want. If no one's going to buy them and drive them, they're just going to sit on lots until you either buy them back or you give them away in foreign aid or you buy them through Department of Homeland Security grants. Let me ask you about the other thing.
Okay.
I pointed out in the monologue that here we are, Ben Bernanke's defending QE forever. At the same time, we're telling Brazil we want to be the largest consumer of their state product, oil. Their finance minister gets that this is a joke. If the dollar is being devalued, that means if we buy a barrel of oil today, tomorrow the dollar that we've sent for that barrel of oil is worth less. This is not something that Brazil is going to tolerate very long. They're going to start raising the prices of their Brazilian oil to be on par with our devalued currency. So as we import more oil from Brazil, it's going to have to get more expensive.
Well, it's going to. I mean, you're seeing that. Right now, we're seeing some disruptions in some of the refineries out in California, so people are talking about that.
Yeah, two refineries.
Right, but don't lose sight of the fact that when you print more money, all right, and we've talked about this before, the value of what you currently has goes down. So since we import so much oil, since we bring in so much food from outside the United States, the value or the cost to everyone watching right now goes up. That's what is happening because of his failed policies. We have printing of money, quantitative forever, and as a result of that, we're going to see prices go up, and the value of your money will not go as far. So of course Brazil is going to do that. You already heard China is upset. You heard Russia is upset. Everyone is upset with quantitative easing. The only people who aren't upset with it are the progressives here in this country, and they need to be, because when they go to the grocery store and they can't buy as much, what they should say is, thank you, President Obama, for your failed policies.
Now you might be, let me look right in the camera and says, you might be asking yourself, Andrew, you've been putting these two things together. Let me put them together now so they make sense. If the government is devaluing your money and then limiting your choices in the marketplace, think about what kind of economic system you have. That's communism. Government has state-run capital.
That's right.
It controls the means of production. It tells you what money's worth and what you could buy with it. That is communism.